Barack Obama administration, just the other day, after a bomb went off in the Chelsea neighborhood in New York City, in Manhattan, and other bombs were found in Manhattan and in New Jersey, and they were discovered to have been planted by an Islamic jihadist who was acting according to notes that he himself wrote, acting in the name of Allah and Islam. Josh Earnest, the press secretary for the President of the United States, said, this is a war, actually a war of narratives. Now, remember, he said this after bombs went off in New York City and New Jersey. A war of narratives. Well, actually, it's a war in which one side is setting off bombs and the other side is talking about narratives. What is a war of narratives? Has the United States ever actually fought a war of narratives before? What would a war of narratives look like? It would seem the obvious answer is that a war of narratives is where people talk at each other, or maybe a debate. But this is where it gets really strange, because the Obama administration is not even engaging in the war of narratives that they claim to be fighting. A war of narratives, a debate, a discussion between two opposing points of view, first off, has to have two opposing points of view. The Obama administration does not have an opposing point of view to that of the terrorists. And you think, well, wait a minute, now that's really crazy. No, think about it for a minute. The terrorists say that they are fighting this war in the name of the religion of Islam. That if you have your Quran this morning, open it to chapter 9, verse 29. Chapter 9, verse 29 says, fight those who do not believe in Allah and the last day, and do not forbid what he has forbidden, even if they are of the people of the book, which is primarily Jews and Christians, that's what the Quran calls them, people of the book, until they pay the jizya, the tax, with willing submission and feel themselves subdued. So this verse means, fight against those who are of the people of the book until they pay this tax and submit to the rule of the Muslims. Now, confronted with worldwide violence committed in order to further those goals and in accord with those teachings, and violence in the United States that is dedicated to furthering those goals, the Obama administration says these people are not Islamic at all, that they don't really mean what they're saying. Recently, the Pope Francis, said that the Quran, Islam properly understood, and the Quran reject every form of violence. He did not mention the three passages of the Quran, chapter 2, verse 191, chapter 4, verse 89, and chapter 9, verse 5, that say, kill them wherever you find them. He did not address the other passages of the Quran, chapter 8, verse 12, chapter 47, verse 4, that say, when you meet the unbelievers, strike their necks, that is, cut off their heads. He didn't address any of the other passages exhorting Muslims to wage war against non-Muslims. But he said the Quran rejects every form of violence. Now, when he said this, ISIS, the Islamic State, ISIL as the president calls them, they call themselves the Islamic State because that's what they claim to be, the Islamic State, the quintessential and perfect form of Muslim government. And they said the Pope was wrong. They said, Pope, when you say that, the Quran rejects every form of violence, you are absolutely wrong. And when you say that we need to redress economic inequalities among nations and behave more justly in terms of American foreign policy toward Muslim countries, those things will not stop us and will not end our jihad. The Islamic State told the Pope, we will hate you as long as you do not accept Islam. We will keep fighting you as long as you do not accept Islam. As long as you remain non-Muslim, this war is going to continue.
लाइक और शेयर ठोक लीजिए महाकाल का, दबा के लाइक और शेयर ठोक लीजिए।